Shalom. Today I'm talking about the Adam and Eve story a little bit and how it encompasses more than the creation of everything, but expresses the creation in everything. So we see in the beginning, God said, "Let there be light." And he saw the light was good. He named the light day and the darkness night. Now, that would just be equivalent, in my understanding, of knowledge being expressed. And God saw that it was good. So the same thing with men. As we grow, we learn, and we learn to apply in application. So when he says, "Let there be light," it's more so the understanding of all that is to be around for existence to be. Same way as a man learns everything he needs to do to be able to be secure, strong, and able, which would be the light. And those are the things we saw, good and bad, the light and dark. The things you can do, the things you can't do. What happens when you do the good things, what happens when you do the bad things. Light and dark. Then after that, I believe he created, after that he created the clouds and the oceans. Well, the clouds and the oceans would be the manifestation and the thought of. You got your head in the clouds, the thought of, and the manifestation within what is right and what is wrong. Day one. Now this is the thoughts and the manifestation of based off of what's right and wrong. Now then the land and trees that he created would be I'm trying to think of how to put it properly. The lands in the tree would then be the catalysts of the nature of what's good and bad based off of the thoughts. And what is that? So that's just the nature of it. So reality has to live by some rules. Cats don't just spawn out of nowhere. So that's what the trees and the land is meant to represent. The very limitations in which things can be manifested from the spirit realm, cloud, in the heaven, from your thoughts and actions. Then it's the moon and stars, which were given to a sign as a sign of times. So that way you can look at them and understand what time you in, what it is. And on that, I would have to say, for my understanding, it's the watchmen, for lack of a better term. The angels. The celestial bodies. That's what that is. The celestial bodies that's created is the stars, the moon, the sun, and the stars. And I only say that because in the beginning we have night and day. But if it's night and day, to our understanding, night and day come from the moon and the stars. Which means if he created night and day before he created the moon and the stars, it can't be the moon and the stars as we know it. It got to be something else. Because on a whole nother day, he created the moon and the stars. So that's why I say light is the information in which the realm can exist. So what goes up must come down, gravitational rule, and all this other stuff. That's what those things are. The birds and the fish are the non-human interactive beings of the planet. So the ones that roam more freely, is not existing in the same realm or reality. For instance, we live on the earth. The birds fly in the air and the other animals swim in the ocean. And on another day, he creates the animals that walk on the same plane as us. Man and animals were created the same day. And that's because that's how it's supposed to be. We're supposed to have dominion over the things of the land. And then we have the day of rest. What man don't see is that Adam's journey is the same as all of our journey. That if we focus and keep on to our jobs, we'll be fine. For instance, a man's loneliness is real, but you accept a man's loneliness more based off the work he do versus him just claiming to be lonely. Like, well, nigga, what are you doing? Like, if you're just lonely, you're just lonely. God didn't deem Adam lonely just because he was lonely, but Adam was taking care of business. Adam was taking care of business. We'll just say in that understanding, if you're busy, it's less likely you'll be stuck in your mind. But once you get done naming animals and the trees and the fruits and all this other stuff, you'll be left to observe. In that observation, you'll see animals with mates. You'll see in through time trees and stuff like that, and animals mating, relaxing and stuff. And you'll wonder, well, what about me after you got it done? You know, like people don't usually start a job and feel like they're not being. I mean, people don't usually start a job and feel like they're being taken advantage of. People usually get the job, do the job, and as they continue to do the job, not being appreciated, then they start feeling that way. Same way we can attribute to Adam, because it had to be something inside of him that would then cause him to be lonely, because animals aren't lonely. And, then they wound up eating this fruit. I think the fruit is consciousness. The fruit is the thing that make them conscious. Because before then, they just existed. Adam knew loneliness not through the feeling, but through the observation. Adam felt lonely. Adam felt lonely, but he didn't eat from the fruit yet, which means that feeling of lonely can exist. But the observation and how he describes his loneliness is why I say he experienced loneliness that way, because he said that the animals have their meat and I have none. So I would be safe to assume that that is where it's coming from and that's where it's leading from, at least from a biblical standpoint for me. So then as Adam and Eve go through their dealings or whatever, Adam wound up giving into his woman, and I'm not giving him a pass for the sin. I'm just saying it's understood for the sin, because the beginning was not meant to be for forever. The beginning was meant to set forth for everything to happen and to be changed, for God's plan to come true. Yeah. So, to me, the lesson in the beginning isn't just the beginning of creation, but the very beginning of a man in today's society. A man should let there be light, understand the whole thing around him that allows the reality to be. And he should see that as good. Take his time. See the reality in which see the reality he wants to be in. Then after he see the reality he wants to be in, then create a thought pattern for it and change his manner of operation so that he can accomplish that. After he does that, think about the realm and what's necessary. Oh, you need a laptop. You need just your hardware. You need a laptop, a phone, some Wi-Fi, whatever position you need, whatever location you need to be at, hard materials. Then we'll go to the moons and the stars. The operations. Okay, well now you have all these things. What are you using them towards? Are you going to use what system are you? What software? What programs are you using? What are you putting these things towards? Now, since you have these things to build them, birds and the fish. Okay, well, what is in your network? What's your ecosystem? Pretty much. What's your ecosystem? How is that whole thing situated? How is that going to come together? How is your network set up for your ecosystem? Then the men and the animals are, well, now since you got that, now start putting those people. Now since you have all this figured out, and this can eat this, and this can eat off of this can make this happen, this can make this happen. All right, well, now let's start putting those people of those mindsets in there and give it time to see if it's good. After you see that it's good, take it to the rest, and it should continue on moving forward. All things are done properly, decently, and in order for the thing to come about. Nothing was done incorrectly, therefore it should be. That's all I got.